can get into that deep kind of conversation there.
I did see that. That seems like a fun conversation. It's a fun conversation. Foreplay, presented by Barstool Sports. We are back. It is the second show of the week. This show's coming out on December 5th, 2024, which is nuts. I was looking at something that was in my email from September, and it said 3+ months ago. And I just was like, what? How could that be possible? But it is holiday season. I saw Alex Bush yesterday was doing on his Instagram a little Christmas viewing around town. He was looking at Christmas lights and Christmassy type stuff, which I like to see. We got some big news in the golf world that our good friend Kevin Kisner is going to be kind of the official lead analyst for NBC through 2025 major championships. We got closest to do. We've got a bunch of from the gallery. So we are back. We're here, and it's nice to see you, fella.
Yeah, it's great to see you guys. I am in Boston, and by the time this comes out, there's a Chicks in the Office show tonight that I'm attending, and I'm going to be Santa Claus. I was Santa Claus last year. I'm going to be Santa Claus again this year. It's great. I love doing these live shows. And it is nice, I will say, as a guy who, I lived in Florida 2 months. I haven't been there for 2 years, but I'm up in Boston. It's 30 degrees, and you feel more holiday-like, and there are lights everywhere, and it's normal to how I normally would feel during the holiday season. So it's nice to get a little blast of that for a couple of days at least, and then I'm going back down to Florida. But yeah, I'm in Boston, and it's cold.
Why do you think they cast you as Santa and not maybe one of the helping elves? Or
I feel like you're implying something.
I'm not. I'm just asking a question. I'm simply asking a question. They look at you and they say, how would Trent fit into this show? Oh, we should make him Santa Claus, obviously.
Do you think it's because I spread holiday cheer?
Yeah, that's exactly.
Or is it the long white beard that I've been growing? Or is it that I'm fat?
That's great, man. You get to go out there. Place going to go nuts. They're going to go absolutely crazy. Chicks in the Office shows I've heard just go wild.
I'm very curious. I'm as out of that world as I've been in a while. I just haven't been on their show a lot. And part of me is hoping that I get booed. I would love to get booed. Like, it's been a great run of getting celebrated at these shows, and their fans are incredible, and Rhea and Fran are incredible. What they've built is incredible. I remember I did the first Chicks in the Office live show in Boston, the first one they ever did, probably 3 years ago. It was the upstairs at a bar, 150 people. Obviously great. They sold it out. I was there both nights that they were in Boston. It was so much fun. Smash cut to 3 years later. We're in Boston again. They sold out a theater down the street that's like 1,500 people. It's incredible what they've done. So, yeah, I mean, I think there's a slight chance that I get booed, but we'll find out. I mean, you can't boo Santa Claus. We're not in Philadelphia where you just embrace me.
You're not going to get
holiday
booed.
Cheer.
I got booed in Boston when I went there for the Islanders stream. We went to that bar, Hurricanes or whatever, and it was right outside TD Garden. And
Hurricane O'Reilly's, is that what it is?
I think that may have been it. And yeah, we were I'm looking at the picture right now, me standing up on the seat and everyone giving me the middle finger. There was a good feeling about being booed. You were just like, you were the man in the arena. You were just kind of like, you were the guy. Now, obviously it's great if you get cheered, but there is like a nice feeling. It's almost satisfying to get there's like a bunch of people. Like you know that you're like agitating people. You know what I mean? You're pissing them off a little bit.
You're the villain.
It's a good feeling. Being the villain once in a while it's a good, like, sometimes villains are like sexy. Like you kind of like feel for the villains in movies and shit. Like you're like, oh yeah, that's a good character.
People love a bad one.
I got booed at the Ryder Cup when I was cheering for Team Europe.
You did get booed.
I was getting booed in kind of a weird way where it was like almost some people were like, most people were in on it being like funny and rooting and yelling and then booing. Some people were very like, they're filled with vitriol, I would say, in the booing, which I agree with you. It felt kind of nice. That whole month stretch, I was kind of playing the villain. And then I also got booed a couple times being at the President's Cup this year because it was up in Canada. And we talked about how on like Thursday, the crowds were pretty tame, lame. Friday, the international team went 5-0 and kind of charged back. And in the afternoon on Friday, a bunch of the Canadian lads started to get pretty boozed up. And there were a couple groups that were like booing and chirping, like hockey chirping type and booing. And it felt great walking around there. And then Saturday, being able to be like USA, we're fucking killing you guys again. It was fun. It's nice to be the villain occasionally. the heel, little heel turn. Equinox EV helps you get the distance you're looking for. We're all looking for more distance. We play golf. Sorry, you're listening to this podcast, you're playing golf. Distance helps. Everybody's talking about that. 319 miles of range on a full charge. Actual range can vary based on all kinds of different factors. The Equinox EV offers a best-in-class 17.7-inch diagonal standard touchscreen display. That's the best in class. That's the best in class. The 2025 Equinox EV LT, it's got a starting price around $34,995. Pricing can vary as dealers obviously set the final price. Things got room for 5 people, and you can check it out at Chevy.com/Equinox EV. It's a beautiful vehicle inside and out, Trent.
It's an incredible vehicle. We've been talking about Chevy for a long time. We love these guys. They are on the cutting edge of the EV future. If you want to get involved with a car company that is starting to do electric vehicles, go with Chevy, because they're not starting to do it. They've been doing it for the last 10 years. They're the best in the business at it. Equinox EV, it's a beautiful machine, tons of space, great screen. Go to Chevy.com, check a couple of them out, and I guarantee you'll find something you like.
The Equinox EV offers a roomy, no compromises interior with ample cargo room, convenient storage solutions, accommodates comfortable seating up to 5 people. So head on over to Chevy.com/Equinox EV. Check out product info, lease offers, and amazing deals. Chevrolet, together, let's drive. Surviving Barstool. We got to talk a little bit about Surviving Barstool. This bad boy is coming out, I think, 3 episodes per week. So we got another one. We're doing the show on Wednesday tonight. This one will have already come out. Episode 2 will have already come out. We've only seen episode 1 thus far, the premiere last night. It was awesome. You really forget how quickly that the show just throws everyone right into some pretty seriously awkward and contentious stuff. I mean, people getting eliminated hours after beginning in a competition where there's $250,000 on the line in the context of work relationships, with which every adult on earth knows that work relationships are fucking complicated no matter what. There's different factions, there's different cliques, there's history among people. People have good relationships, and then it's kind of a roller coaster with a lot of different people. Some folks they're extremely tight with the whole time. Other folks you almost have like a professional surface level relationship with, where you act like everything's fine, but people know you talk shit about it behind the scenes. That's how fucking the work environment is. The Office is an entire show built on the extreme of all of that. And Surviving Barstool is kind of taking that to the extreme, where you've got all these different internet personalities that people know. A lot of the shit that people have gone through has been aired out over the years, but also lately not as much, because we have different franchises at Barstool where people kind of focus on their own brand. So bringing all those people under one roof for an entire week or a couple weeks at a time, where they're trying to be the only person standing at the end of it, alliances, betrayals, getting mad at people if they just fucking suck in immunity challenges, and then having to go into a vote, people being blindsided. Our boy was blindsided last night. Our good friend Smitty, who, like, the first show we ever did, me and Trent were doing the morning show with Smitty. I fucking love Smitty. And of course, Smitty was the guy that just got absolutely blindsided if you haven't watched it. So Surviving Barstool, man, right away. It's almost like watching the Masters. It's like right away it just hits you and you're in it. You're watching people on Amen Corner before the show even starts. I felt like that was Surviving Barstool last night. We were just in it right away.
Yeah, great editing too. I mean, like, I feel like people don't realize how hard it is to edit a reality TV show like that, especially a competition, because they have all the footage and they know all the results, and then having to tell that story that's compelling to the viewer, where it's like, let's lead them to believe it's this guy, and then actually you show the twist. I mean, obviously no spoilers, but like, you're just gonna have to keep up because it's happening every single night. But the Smitty twist, like, isn't a twist unless it's edited that way. They can just be like, Smitty gets the first 3 votes and you're out. Like, but showing him being like, no one's even talking about this. This is obvious. It's obviously Mincy, and like, they don't even show the conversations happening about Smitty. It's just happening behind closed doors. That to me was the most impressive part. So I'm not sure exactly who's like on the 1s and 2s of that. I just wanted to give a shout out to them, because it's amazing that at Barstool Sports, no matter like what we throw at our editors, whether it be Alex, Brendan, Jared, Kyle Timms, like, these guys are able to just do it. And now we're asking them to do a Netflix level, better than Netflix level drama, competition reality TV show. And they're just like doing it perfectly. It's amazing with like no producers in the field. Like they just fucking do it, man. They just figure it out. Really, really good stuff. I can't even imagine all the stuff that goes into it. So, and yeah, our guy Francis is in there. He was awesome in episode 1.
He is awesome.
Overthinking the box situation, which is like he had such a good reasoning as to why to pick the same box. And he's like clearly you guys wouldn't have thought I'd get this twice. So why would you open up the other doors and mix them around? They'd have to go out and get the keys. Like he wasn't thinking straight. He was thinking straight, and then he second guessed himself. So yeah, really good. Make sure you go watch it. It'll be on every single night from now, and I mean every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I think, until January. So
yeah, it wraps up in mid-January. So
it's
there's a bunch of episodes. People are gonna you got to keep up, but it is great. The whole thing is incredible. I can't wait to see how it unfolds.
God, dude, when Francis got that where it took his vote away, and he goes, "Well, I'm just a man without a voice now. I'm a woman in the United States before the suffrage movement."
He's incredible.
Unbelievable.
He's so good.
Gilly's the star of the whole thing, man. Gilly and
great.
Wallow are so fucking funny.
God,
Gilly had me laughing so hard last night. Like I was legitimately giggling watching our coworkers be in the video. I couldn't believe, like, it's different when you're in this world and you know everyone. Sometimes people make you laugh for sure, but like when you know the person personally, it's different than when like you're the biggest fan of them as just a viewer of the content. And like just Gilly and Mincy and Biz and Whitney saying chuck a bra on them. Like I laughed out loud multiple times last night watching, guys that we've known forever. So that just goes to show that it's a really good product. It's definitely the best thing that this company's done.
It's really
it
good. It
also shows me that we have the funniest people on the internet, like bar none. Like the roster goes 40 people deep of how awesome this company is. And then when you get them all together, it's must see TV. I saw it was Surviving Barstool hashtag was trending in like the top 10 or top 5 on Twitter. Like it's a real reality show. Like we are outside of the system to a degree. We're not on Netflix. We're not on Hulu. We're not on Peacock, whatever. We're just an internet company that is putting on, to Frankie's point, a full-fledged reality show. And it's really good and captivating, and people are going to love it. Like it's going to be the most viewed thing we've ever done.
Yeah. Go check it out if you haven't. It's again, you get it pretty much everywhere they're streaming. I believe you can do it ad-free, I think, on Rumble, but it's on YouTube. It's on everything. And yeah, go check out Surviving Barstool. It pretty much airs, I think, 8:00 Eastern, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, pretty much every week. So you can check out the schedule, but it's fantastic. Go check it out. Our great friend, our dear buddy, Kevin Kisner, has been, NBC announced that he will be the lead NBC Golf analyst for 2025. It says Kevin Kisner will serve as lead analyst for the majority of men's golf events on NBC, including the U.S. Open, the Open Championship, the Players Championship, the FedEx Cup playoffs, and the Ryder Cup. He will also maintain a limited playing schedule on the PGA Tour. For folks who don't recall, Kiz has pretty much full status on the PGA Tour for 2025 due to an exemption category that he is in, which is he's in the top 50 all time in career earnings on the PGA Tour, which is fucking incredible to think about. I know he hasn't played his best the last couple of years, so it's been fun to throw jabs at him, chirp him, look at how, him struggling out there, which again, kids can be kind of a cocky little fucker, so it's fun to give it back to him. But then also look at that and be like, you really forget how for about a decade, how insanely consistent that man was. He's got a handful of wins out there on tour. He won a WGC when he won the match play. And even that stretch where we were laughing about him being like finishing 20-something forever and ever and ever. Well, that adds up to a ton of money. And he's top 50 all time in the career money list. So he's got tour status for 2025. So he's going to play. He won't be in the elevated events unless he plays incredibly well. He won't be into the majors unless he plays incredibly well. So he'll play a lot of the kind of like more week in, week out type PGA Tour events. But the fact that he'll be calling major championships, the Ryder Cup, I think everybody was kind of thinking for the last year or so, like, why isn't Kiz just going to take that role full time? It's a huge role. He kind of alluded to that in his statement where he said, following up Paul Azinger, Johnny Miller, and taking that seat is obviously something that I'm very humbled to be doing. It is a big deal. Johnny Miller, one of the most iconic voices in golf commentary, and Kiz is going to be taking that same seat that he took. So it's very cool stuff for our guy Kiz.
Yeah, pumped. I mean, Kiz has proven that he can do it, and all the fans love it. All the viewers love him on there. He's been great. He's able to kind of riff back and forth between the players that are playing and give an insight that we really want to be able to see on a PGA Tour coverage. So he's been unbelievable. He hasn't had any he hasn't had any duds out there. Like every time he's been on, it's been pretty good. And I think it's been well received. So pumped for our guy Kiz. Seems like this year is going to be a big one for him because when we talked to him, he seemed he has something to prove on the golf course, and now also locking this up. It's good to see our guy just like back in the mix. Took a couple years to be like a wilderness man, a mountain man. Grew out a beard.
He had the little weird beard and everything. Yep.
Grew out a beard, started to get a little gray, and now he's like clean cut Aiken boy, back in, swinging with Tillery, wearing those moon shoes when he's putting and practicing. He's the man. I mean, Kiz is the fucking man. And during COVID, we obviously like blew the guy up. We did the match against him, which then propelled like YouTube golf forever. I mean, now it's like no one had ever seen 4 regular guys go out and play a pro like that on YouTube. So now you find it every single week and all these different variations of it. And now he was at the helm of the whole entire thing, and Kiz and Ain't No Hobby exploded to the point where like my father-in-law wears an Ain't No Hobby bucket hat every time he golfs. I mean, it's so big, and we raised a ton of money for the Kevin Kisner Foundation. He had a big run with us for a couple of years and then kind of went away. And this resurgence of Kiz, hopefully people that are just getting into golf or have gotten into golf over the last year or so who don't really understand the kind of character he is will get like reintroduced into this guy because he really is the greatest. He's the greatest personality in all of golf. He really is. It's not even close.
Yeah, I like that a guy like him, and not that he's like crazy edgy or whatever, but like a guy who we think of as the funniest guy in golf, pretty much. You play around with him, you talk to him, he talks shit, he busts balls, he's witty, he's just one of those guys. It's nice to know that a guy like that can get a big job like this. Like that the network like that is looking and being like, that's the kind of guy they want. I'm sure they could have gone with somebody more a little bit buttoned up and a little bit more whatever, but having a guy like that who he's really just so funny and so charismatic and so interesting when you hear him talk. The fact that they're still looking for somebody like that for the PGA Tour broadcast, that makes me feel better about the product.
Me too, 100%. I think it is kind of going a little bit more that direction, which is great. We were kind of alluding to like Biz a little bit earlier, where Biz is kind of, I know he's up there. He's sitting next to Wayne Gretzky doing the TNT, analysis when they come back to the desk. It's not the same thing as calling kind of the play-by-play. But for him to be the Chicklets guy, he's beating up like 6 people at a time in Scottsdale bars.
Which, by the way, we haven't talked about is the craziest story. And I know that like I almost wanted to say it's not being talked about enough. It's being talked about a ton, as it should. Have you guys like read those breakdowns of some of these like private investigators that have been doing investigative work on Twitter? There'll be like those threads. This one guy, I wish I knew his name, but he's basically exposing these Irish travelers. I mean, if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, if you're listening to the Foreplay podcast right now, you have no idea what I'm talking about. Our good friend, and co-worker, and host of the Spit and Chicklets podcast got, into a fight with 6 absolute lunatics who ended up getting arrested because they were being a fucking dicks and assholes to these waiters and wait staff at Houston's, which is like a family restaurant chain in Scottsdale. They have one down in Pompano Beach that I used to go to with my grandparents. It's like Houston's is like the most innocent place of all time. You've got these absolute ridiculous like gypsies walking in there. I mean, the history of these Irish travelers is like watching it's like watching a movie. It's I've never seen a character group like this in my entire life. They go around scamming old people with concrete, and they'll knock on an old person's door, and they'll do they'll say, oh, we just did your neighbor's driveway. We could give it to you for $2,000 off. Sign on the dotted line. They do it. They put on shit product on their driveway, and then they bounce and they leave town. The people are trying to sue them. They're nowhere to be found. There's people being murdered in this family. It's crazy. They're marrying each other. Go do a deep dive into these Irish travelers. You've never seen anything like it. And the fact that Biz stumbled upon them, it's like, it's really unbelievable. And now they're being exposed. They've been living like assholes for their entire lives. And now they hit the wrong person with an actual audience and a platform that's going on TNT with, like what you said, with Wayne Gretzky. He's able to talk about this. And now guys are talking about it in the NHL. It's unbelievable.
If you want to take a deep dive, the guy's name is Shay Stevens on Twitter.
That's it. Shay Stevens.
Whistleblower CA. And you're right, Frankie. It goes so deep in how big of pieces of shit that these people are.
Oh my God.
It's as soon as you think you've hit the peak, there's like another thing where they're just horrible people. And so to visualize these fucking mutants picking a fight with Paul Bissonnette in a bar at a restaurant and then getting beat up is the best thing in the world.
They're like a shitty gang from Peaky Blinders or something. Like that. You find them in the streets or you find them in the hills, and they're just. I feel like it's like the gypsy family that they married into. Like they're gonna go out and steal all the coins, and they're gonna take your tooth out in a fight. Like they're just. I've never seen anyone like them in real life. I can't believe in the year 2024 people live like that. They go from town to town and just fuck up people. And they all look ridiculous. And like even the video before they hit Biz, they're fighting someone else at another golf course. And this is happening in Scottsdale.
Raven. We're at the Raven, which by the way, I've been to the Raven multiple times. The staff there is awesome. It's like a very, the whole place is like a local favorite. It's this public course that's kind of tree lined, and it's not quite as expensive as a lot of the other places. It's right near like the airport and closer to downtown. People love the Raven. And then you have the bars, awesome. You sit in there, the staff's fantastic. So for them to be like, they were like picking on the staff there is psychotic.
It's like punching everybody. Like I've never seen people punch so many people. Like the guy's like the one guy in the green shirt. I can't believe he's still breathing. Like I that makes me mad. Like knowing that he's still breathing makes me angry because he is the scummiest scum of the earth. He's fought multiple innocent people in one night. Like, what are you doing? Do you have a brain? Stop punching people in the face. Stop.
I didn't know you could punch people and like not go right to jail.
They went to jail and then they got out with no bail and like, oh my God. And the video of the guy at court went viral too, of them being like if we let you out and you go back to Texas, like you will make it back, right? He's like, well, like if I have to, I'll try and come back for my court date. They're like, well, no, then we're just gonna hold you in jail. Like you have to come back to Arizona to like, plead either guilty or not. Like this is like a real thing. Like you assaulted a man. You assaulted multiple people. So yeah, no, it's fucking crazy. But yes, Kevin Kisner is like our Biz in that world where, he's like just one of the boys and he's on the panel and he's just like announcing the biggest, names in golf and in his sport. It's pretty cool.
Biz is a beast. I get that. But for him to get out of that relatively unscathed, going up against 6-7 guys that are pretty like they don't care. They don't have regard clearly for like other human life and health and safety is amazing that he got. Like, they're trying to kick him in the head and stuff. Like if I was in that altercation, I would just be dead. I would just be a dead person.
Oh my God.
If I tried to stand up to, which is the right noble thing to do, and then they just started swinging at me, I would just turtle and they would just kick me enough times till I would stop breathing and I would be a dead person. I don't like it's insane that he just beat the mug shots of all these guys looking infinitely worse than Biz looked is fucking hilarious. Dude. It's so
him saying took some, gave more. That's such a winner.
It's the best.
Yeah.
As a non-hockey knower, Biz was a guy who fought a lot in the league, right?
Oh yeah, I went to dinner the other night with a couple of guys that played in the league. Cal Clutterbuck being one of them, who's actually been doing great analyst work for the Islanders. Reminds me of like a Kevin Kisner. Like he's one of the guys, and now he's in between the benches, which is kind of weird, I bet, for him. Just stopped playing last year. Still technically, I don't even think he's fully retired, and now he's back on the bench, right to the right of all of his guys to his right, like that he just went to war with over the last 10, 15 years. And great golf swing. Anyway, we were talking about Biz, and he's like, that's just like the ultimate guy to not pick a fight with on the street. Because like when he grew up with Biz, like back in whatever town they grew up in California, in Canada. But he's like, he's the kind of guy that like when you were growing up and you saw him on the stat sheet or the roster and you're doing your prep for the game, like you had a guy like that, especially Cal, who was kind of a scrapper and a hitter and he would fight if he had to. You'd see Biz and you would just highlight that name and be like, this guy's coming into this game knowing that he's getting a fist in his face. So like, that's the kind of guy that you can't handle. Like when he knows, and there was a documentary, oh gosh, I watched it a couple years ago. Who's the guy in Detroit? Just that guy, the absolute sicko. Oh my God. Red Wings. He got arrested a bunch of times. He was doing drugs in the oh my god.
Oh, man. Doing drugs.
This is our dozen team at work here.
Oh yeah, he was doing like he was like ripping coke, and he was out of control.
Bob Probert?
Bob Probert, yeah, Probert. There was a great documentary on him about just like these guys had just like different types of brains. That's the only way they knew that they could succeed in that sport, is going out there and being almost like the show monkey of like, you're like in the middle of the circus and you're doing flips and you're like, you have to go out there and fight. And that's like that's your being. And Biz was like kind of one of those guys. He knew his role, and like his role was to beat the piss out of everyone around him. So to pick that one guy on the street and in Scottsdale, Arizona is insanity. You could pick literally any other athlete. You know what I mean? That's the craziest part to me. Pick a first baseman in the MLB. You could pick anybody. Like, and you would not get the same kind of guy that you got as Paul. Even any other guy in the NHL, you still wouldn't get a guy like Biz. They picked the wrong guy.
Yep. No,
they did.
They 100% did. So it was awesome. And then, yeah, Kiz, like you said, Kiz is kind of a closest thing that we got to that. Just one of the guys. He's funny. He's cool. He's normal. And he's going to be in such a like official, seat commentating and being a big voice in the world of golf. So it's awesome. Good for Kiz. I was just looking it up. Kiz has 4 PGA Tour wins. He's also in majors. He's had a T for second at the Open Championship, which is actually 2018 at Carnoustie. He's had a T7 at the PGA Championship, and he's got $29,285,023 in career earnings on the PGA Tour. He's actually 64th in the all-time money list, but because I believe X amount of players have like left that are maybe ahead of that, he's kind of in that category to get the exemption for next year. So shout out to Kiz. Awesome stuff for him. Excited to see him at the majors and all that stuff. Most Americans think they spend about 62 American dollars per month on subscriptions. However, that real number is closer to $300 a month, Trent.
Whoa, $300 a month. That's over $3,000 a year that you're just gone by the wayside, that you don't know about, that you don't know you're spending. This Rocket Money app, I love this thing. You can get rid of the subscriptions that you don't want, but you can also, it's a financial tool. I've said it before, but I'll say it again. It connects to all of your bank account, your credit card, all that stuff, and it puts it into a nice little package. What are you spending? Where could you cut? It really is like, it has helped me get my finances in order for a guy who is largely unorganized and doesn't know what's going on for 95% of the time. That 5% of the time is because of Rocket Money, because they have helped me get my finances in order. And if you need help like that, which is literally everybody, download the Rocket Money app, and it is going to help you a ton.
It's huge. I get alerts about all kinds of stuff. If I buy something that's a little bit of an expensive purchase, gives me a quick little alert, just kind of letting me know. You can scroll through Simply and check out how much you spend on Uber or Chipotle or whatever. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that finds and cancels your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so that you can grow your savings. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has saved a total of $500 million in canceled subscriptions, saving members up to $740 per year when using all of this app's features. Stop wasting money on things you don't use. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions by simply going to rocketmoney.com/Fore. Fore. That is rocketmoney.com/Fore. Tiger Woods had a press conference on Tuesday. He said kind of what we expected him to say, I would guess. He did the classic Tiger thing where he said he has basically no idea when he expects to be playing again. He did say that he's feeling, pretty healthy at this point, coming off yet another back surgery, but he's not tournament sharp. He went on and on about how good all the players are that are in the field at the Hero, and that he just simply wouldn't be able to compete at all. But it sounded like a good sign that he was like, no, health-wise, I'm, there. He did a lot of talking about the competitive fire and how it's still in there, but his body just takes way, way, way longer to recover. But overall, I think it was a pretty solid press conference. I think it was a little, I think Rappaport asked him about D, as Tiger was calling him again. D asked him how he said last year that he would like to play once a month, and that obviously didn't pan out. Is that something that he's trying to do again next year? And he kind of went into, saying, he actually said, I didn't think my back was going to go like it did this year. It was quite painful throughout the end of the year, and hence I had another procedure done to alleviate the pain I had going down my leg. So he wasn't fully healthy, it sounds like. He was in a lot of pain, and therefore that led to him really not playing that much, and when he did, not playing that great. So hopefully he's healthier. He's kind of taking his time, and maybe he'll be more healthy in 2025 than he was in 2024. I don't really know, but I didn't think it was like doom and gloom, but I also didn't think it was like any groundbreaking information from Mr. Woods.
Yeah, he seems in great spirits. I mean, we posted our picture with him and Scotty and Nelly, so we were around him right before he went to this tournament. Mm-hmm. We knew from firsthand that he was in good spirits. He looks like he's having a good time. He looks relatively healthy, aside from like obviously the very visual limp that he's had since the incident. And I don't think he's ever going to not have that limp. I think he's structurally different for the rest of his life. And we've also always said that a limp is also trying to alleviate the pain and the wear and tear. It's like you're limping for a reason, right? Like if he was just walking straight, it'd probably be hurting him. So the limp never really got in my head. It's just the fact, like if he thinks he could play in a golf tournament with all the other issues with the back and the spasms and the leg and all of that stuff equaling out to being able to play a round of golf, then I'm fine with it. I don't care what he looks like. I don't care if he looks like he's in pain. If he's out there, he's clearly not in pain. So I'm excited to see him come back. Obviously, he looks like he has a big smile on his face. He looks great up top. I mean, one of the guys said he looks like a boxer, which got funny. A huge laugh out of him. And listen, he's going to come back. He's obviously going to come back. He didn't get these surgeries for no reason. The guy's addicted to golf. He's addicted to trying to win. He doesn't think he doesn't think this is over for him. And, I'm never going to call it delusional. I mean, I think he's got the greatest mind in golf history. And if he thinks, if you had to say, I want to trust anyone's opinion on the game of golf, I would say Tiger Woods. He knows the game inside and out more than anyone. He knows every swing. He knows every outcome. He knows exactly what's going to happen. If that man thinks that he can still win a PGA Tour tournament or a major, I'm going to believe him. All right? Like, I don't think that he's been like, knocked on the head too many times where he doesn't understand his own game. He knows what he can do. We've heard about it behind closed doors, like guys being like, I caddied for him at Apogee. And like, I played with a guy like this summer. Like I caddied for him this summer, right before he got the back surgery, and he fucking shot a 61. Like, yeah, he took the cart, but like the guy's game is outrageous still. It's just, can he get help? It's like, that's all he's fucking worried about. It's like, can I just do it for 4 days? Can I do it for 6 days, really? Because you got to get there and practice.
Dude, he alluded to it. And we've talked about it before, where the brain's fine. It's the body. And that has to be such a frustrating feeling. Like, his brain is the greatest golf brain that has ever been around. And, he's obviously gone through the most injuries. He's getting older now. So the body just can't catch up to it. And I can't even imagine he was at the peak for so long, knowing that you can do it, and then having the body just kind of fail on you. So no, I think he'll come back. I think he's obviously frustrated with how his body is now and how slow it is to recover. But I mean, I'm not going to give up on him until he's like, I'm done. So as long as Tiger Woods is willing to give it a shot, get these surgeries, and try to make a comeback, I'm going to be by his side.
Me too. Get this guy healthy. His swing looks good. All that looks pretty good. He needs to be tournament sharp, so he does need to play more. That's a double-edged sword, because if he plays more, obviously it's harder for him to remain healthy and fresh and recover his body and all that stuff. So we're probably going to play that game for the rest of his career. But I thought he looked pretty good. I laughed out loud at the boxer comment. I got a good chuckle from Tiger. I mostly laughed because Tiger laughed. And then he did have an interesting answer. They tried to kind of grill him a little bit on the Ryder Cup being paid situation, where the American players want to be, the story comes out that the American players would like to be paid for participation in the Ryder Cup. Obviously, almost like a political campaign, where the European players saw that, took it as an opportunity to be like, we would pay to play in the Ryder Cup. We don't need to be paid. Tiger was asked about that, and his response was very much in line with the sort of side of the argument of those who run the Ryder Cup make millions and millions and millions of dollars on the Ryder Cup. You could argue that they make that based on the backs. They make that on the backs of the players. If you don't have the players, you don't have the Ryder Cup. So if the entire event is about the players, it's crazy that everybody else makes money. except the players, which is kind of the NCAA argument and the NIL and all that stuff. Tiger was very much just kind of invoking charity throughout the whole thing. He did allude as well back to like the 90s when Tiger and some other players got pretty much skewered in the media for this same exact storyline, where it was like, do you guys hear Tiger Woods wants to play, Tiger Woods and co. Are demanding to get paid to play in the Ryder Cup. Tiger's kind of whole point, and he basically said, good for the Europeans. If they want to have that stance, I don't really care. The way that our stance is that we think so much money is driven by the Ryder Cup, which I looked up the numbers. I believe it was said that it's about a $30 million difference for the PGA of America in terms of their bottom line in a Ryder Cup year versus not a Ryder Cup year. I think one of the other kind of lines that I heard that was said was based upon a decade ago or so. PGA of America allocates about $35 million over a 4-year period in the bottom line for the Ryder Cup. So they say they get about $10 million when $10 million difference when the Ryder Cup is was played internationally, and about a $25 million increase to their bottom line when the Ryder Cup is played domestically. And so it's obviously a huge deal for that organization, but that's a lot of money. And if you're making all that money off the backs of the players, Tiger's point was like, yeah, the players would like that money to get allocated to them for them to then distribute to charities. Seems crazy that we wouldn't want that. Of course, we're the ones playing. We're the ones putting our time and effort, making the event what it is. All we're asking is like, if a player gets $1 million a person or something like that, they could then allocate that money to charity. So that was kind of his take on the whole thing. And I kind of respect him standing by it and not just caving and being like, oh yeah, we're going to, like, he didn't really take the bait with the European players and them kind of pouncing on the opportunity to be contrasting to what the American players are saying. And I get that we all are like, love of the game, I can't believe they don't want to play. But rationally, it's hard not to see the point of like, yeah, they make a $30 million difference on a year when there's a Ryder Cup. We're the ones that make the Ryder Cup the Ryder Cup. Crazy that none of that comes our way and we can't give some of it to charity.
I think if you told the casual sports fan that players in the Ryder Cup don't get paid, they'd be surprised.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, why have we said like this one thing you don't get paid for because it's fun? Like, why do you get paid to play the sport in any sense then?
Right.
Playing the NHL is fun. They still got to pay the guys. What do is fun. We still hope to make money. I got to buy a Bissonnette. Like, this is like it's all fun. Like, people would like give their left nut to go like do any of this stuff. Like, it is fun, but like you still make money. Like, you got to have it. You got to be making money. I mean, someone's making money off of it. Why wouldn't it be you?
The reason this all became a narrative is because I think a lot of people at once learned that they weren't getting paid.
Yeah.
I really think like it doesn't change my opinion of the Ryder Cup either way. Like if the players getting paid, great. It's because of the reasoning that Riggs just laid out. They're making a shit ton of money. Break them off a little bit. Why not? It's another incentive to want to play in the Ryder Cup. Like guys maybe are going to try a little bit harder because they get $1 million or whatever. But yeah, I really don't see an issue with it either way. If they want to give it to charity, God bless. But if I don't have an issue with them getting paid. If you watch sports, this was the college issue forever. It was like the NCAA is making all of this money. And I get that these guys are already rich, right? Especially on the American side. And all pro golfers involved in the Ryder Cup are pretty well off, where the college kids weren't. But it's like, yeah, if they're going to play this sport,
matter,
it doesn't matter.
Right.
And this whole thing, and I understand why the European team decided to like draw the narrative line and be like, we'll pay to play. Of course. Yeah, of course.
They're probably making money some other way that they're being sneaky about, like the documentary or some bullshit. Like, you know what I mean? Like they're probably
like the gypsy guys,
some way, somehow they're getting paid, those guys. Like, come on. It's all just for the look of it being like they want the money and we don't.
Of course.
Or Rory's writing out a check to everyone or something. The guy's got more money than God.
Dude, Rory's got the most money.
Yeah.
Well,
sends out a text like, hey boys, I'll send you all $500K. Let's all just say like we're not gonna get paid. All right.
Yeah, it is Riggs. It's like a campaign. They saw an opportunity and they were like, oh, we can do this and it's gonna shift the narrative
great move
even further.
Great move.
It's a great move. Really good. But I don't give a fuck.
I'm kind of falling that way too. I don't really care. And it almost reminds me a little bit of like when somebody has a friend that's a photographer and they're like, oh, will you just come photograph this for me? I'm like, yeah, of course I'll do that. And then they're like, I'm going to send you an invoice for it. Like, that's what I do for work. Like, this is my job. So if I'm going to do my job for you, I need to get paid. Like, that's my job. That's what I do. And so the players, I understand, if they're on the road and yeah, they're rich and all that, none of that should, it doesn't matter. If the point is, and I get like the point is they're doing what their job is, 35 weeks of the year, whatever they're on the road. You're asking them now to take another week of their job to go do what they do for a living, which is play golf, and do it in front of people at an event that drives tens of millions of dollars in revenue to the bottom line of other organizations. It's not crazy, is all we're saying, to be like, well, they probably should be compensated a little bit for that. They're doing their profession.
It's the only thing they don't get compensated for, which is the crazy conversation. It's like,
yeah,
the fact that they don't get compensated is what Trent's point was, or it's like, of course, that's going to be a topic of conversation. We're stunned that they don't get paid already, I guess.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
And it's arguably the most popular golf event. Like, I mean, numbers wise, it's every 2 years. Everybody watches the Ryder Cup. I know the Masters is huge. All the majors are huge, but I think most people get up for the Ryder Cup. So yeah. This whole thing has been a complete non-issue to me. I really just think that with new information that they weren't getting paid, it became a conversation of like, oh, maybe they shouldn't. They're playing for their country. It's like, I don't know. I don't know if that's right.
Right. No, so I get it. And obviously Tiger said it, so I'm more likely to agree with him, which I am. So good for Tiger, kind of holding his own, holding his stance. It can be exhausting following all kinds of rules, regulations, and everything, but especially in golf. Cart path only is a great example about how annoying that can be, but we understand it. Turf crew, we get it. It rains. It's an outdoor sport. When it comes to time for a drink, we reach for the one thing that breaks all the rules. We're talking truly unruly 8% ABV, still light and refreshing. Truly Unruly is the high ABV drink that does not follow any of Hard Seltzer's usual rules. Barstool Classic Championship, these things were flowing. They're flowing. They got 4 great flavors: Tropical Twist, Berry Blast, Citrus Crush, and Strawberry Smash. Again, they're refreshing, yet they hit you at that 8% ABV, Trent.
They were a huge hit at the Barstool Classic. People were drinking them. I mean, they're just as refreshing as regular Trulies. They just pack that little extra punch, that little extra ABV, put a little bit more lead in your pencil. And yeah, I'm excited for the next year where we're going to have even more of these. They're going to be out there at the events. People are going to enjoy them. Yeah, the Truly relationship that we've had has been great, and they keep innovating. They've had the tequila sodas. Now they got the Unrulies. Like, they just keep going, and I love that about them. So best in the business, that's Truly.
Find the Truly Unruly near you at trulyhardseltzer.com/locations. That's trulyhardseltzer.com/locations. Truly Hard Seltzer Beverage Company, Boston, Massachusetts. Please drink responsibly. Shout out to Bryson DeChambeau. I don't think we talked about it in the last show, but hole-in-one challenge.
Amazing.
Really kind of took over the golf narrative for a little bit on social for a couple weeks there. He did it. Ace. It was filmed well. It was consumed well. He's very good at the YouTube, social media, golf,
TikTok
thing. It helps that he's obviously won the U.S. Open a few times, but that's just such a good idea. Again, it was done well. It was produced well. It was so consumable, down to even a little bit of the stuff. I'm sure I know Frankie notices all this stuff with the production side, but even once they started to get into a couple of the ones where he would hit 12, 13 shots, just immediately not even showing the shots that weren't that close, cutting away from those for 2 or 3, really just leans into understanding social media, attention spans, how quick things need to move, and he just nailed it. They were so watchable. You couldn't miss any one of them. That from his balls hitting the rocks, his guys going crazy, balls spinning, taking huge bounces, and then eventually him draining it and going nuts. It was just done incredibly well, and obviously he got the ace. So good for Bryson, but what a fucking idea. He crushed that whole thing.
I mean, it was a 96-yard shot, right? And over the house, obviously, hitting off of fake turf where it's sliding all over the place. You could tell in the beginning days he had like kettlebells and things to kind of like weigh down the grass. Because if you guys ever hit on one of those, it kind of like all slides around. It's really not the easy. My point's like, it's not an easy swing. You're like, you're kind of like up in the air, and it's just different. It's not, you're not hitting on grass. So that to me was really impressive. And then, yeah, just the way that he just took the world by storm and like, and did it in a way that he knew was going to be easily consumable and fast. And like, just being that kind of guy, knowing you've got the juice and leaning into it like that is incredible. And the other incredible thing, and the last thing I'll say on it, is that we talked about the stats of PGA Tour pros, and like how close their proximity to the hole is from 75 to 125 yards. I think it was like 25 feet or something like that on average. I mean, his average to the hole from 96 yards was out of control. Like if you think about it, he did it in 16 days. And I think he did it on like the 12th shot or the 13th shot of the 16th day, right? I could be off by 1 or 2 on all those, but like I think it ended up being around 120 swings with multiple hours in between each, right? You have like the whole entire day to do it. That is fucking impressive to make a hole in one. It's like 10,000 to 1 odds to make a hole in one. Only 120 swings. I mean, over a house, over rocks. It's just got to land soft and like roll right in. It's crazy. It's the most. And then he almost did it 100 times out of 120. He almost got it in. There was only 20 times you're like, oh, it wasn't even close.
Yeah,
it's true.
No, and even those were unbelievably close. Even the ones that hit the rocks would have ended up 10 feet.
Yeah. Right. No, it was fucking insanely impressive. It was, and that also helped make it fun to watch. Like if he was just hitting, if he was doing it, it's day 7, he gets 7 shots and 4 of them weren't even fucking close, it wouldn't have been that consumable.
No, every swing had a chance.
Fucking swing for the most part, you had to zoom in and watch. Be like, how's it going to spin? How's it going to bounce? How close?
And
he's
so dialed that you started to realize what kind of flight path would end up being close. Like you were starting to count the panels on his house, and like if one of the panels was like I think it was one to the right of the center, one right of center. If it went over that with a draw, you knew that the second camera angle was going to show one close. So yeah, it was so dialed in. Incredible stuff. Bryson's he's a problem out there. And his Break 50 series is so well done also. Like it's so fast and they're so good at golf that it's so easy to consume. Like I sometimes talk with our editors about that where I'm like, man, like when we do like a breaking 90 or whatever it might be, like it needs to be easier for someone to sit down and watch the guy go from the tee to the hole. Like where it's just like, here's the shot. Now he's on his second shot. Now he's on his third shot. And now the ball's in the hole. Now we're on the next one. And Brendan will sometimes be like, you guys are like all over the place. You guys are hitting the ball all over the place where it's like, there's gotta be some context to like, why are we in the trees? And like, where's Frankie hitting it? And where's Trent? Why are we hitting 4 off the tee? Like there's so much more as opposed to him on Break 50 where he's driving the green every single hole where it's like we're on the green, we're on the tee box, and now we're on the green, and now we're gonna try and make the putt and we move on to the next one. He just did one with Tom Brady. I watched the whole thing. It was unbelievably easy to watch. Both of them just striping the ball.
It's true I was watching Grant Horvat and Phil the other day as well, and I was like, man, this is so consumable. In the way that Sky, who's Grant's guy producer, who's awesome, the way that he's like filming them, whereas like he's got it down to a science. And I was thinking about it, and then I was like, that's just literally not doable with us. And I recalled last year when we were there and how it's just not even possible to film it that way because Sky stands right behind him. He gets that perfect view. He holds it there for a second or two so that he can do the tracer. And then he zooms right in on the flag stick, and the ball always lands next to the flag stick. Or he does the same thing off the tee where he's in Grant's face, and then he backs up behind him, and he holds that spot perfectly, puts the tracer on it for like 2-3 seconds, shows the draw, and then zooms in on the left side of the fairway, and the ball lands on the left side of the fairway. And I was like, fuck me, he's got that down. And then I was like, man, there's just no planet where we could produce something like that even close. Our guys would have to be fucking robots that have sensors about where the ball is going and then be able to zoom in over there.
We make contact and it's like fingernails hitting chalkboard and it's going dead right, and like we're cutting to a drone and you're seeing all the branches fall from the tree. It's way harder. And the fact that our guys make our videos so consumable is a feat that cannot be replicated. Like the fact that Brendan has gotten our videos to look so aesthetically pleasing with the type of golf that we play is so incredible on his behalf. Like that, our editing team being able to do what they do with the product that they have to edit is insane. When you watch our competitive group, like the Grant Horvats and the Brysons and all these guys that are like hitting it on the stick, it's an easy day out there for those guys. Like you said, hit and zoom, hit record, zoom in on that stick. That ball's bouncing there no matter what. And if it doesn't, they make that content. They're like, oh my God, like I'm on the right side of the green. It's stunning. They don't need a drone up getting the shots hitting like the bunkers and shit. They don't have it. They don't need it. It's just fucking simple.
It's simple. We need we need eyes in the sky, drones, satellites. God. We need like multiple guys, filmographers on site, and then we still miss like 20% of the balls just get missed. They're just like, fucking no, dude.
Well,
Like,
this is a good promotion or lead up into Breaking 85, one of our best series that that we have. Trent Ryan broke 100 at Garden City Country Club. Was that 3 years ago?
Yeah.
And then was it this year that we broke 90, or was it last year?
Yeah, it was this year.
This year, this calendar year, we broke 90 out at in Colorado.
Rain Dance National.
At Rain Dance National. And now we've moved on to Breaking 85. And we had a couple of attempts, one being at Eisenhower Red, where I learned how to golf, and the next one being at Mill Pond, a nice public track out there in Eastern Long Island. And our latest attempt, which is out now, make sure you go check it out. It's hard to promote Breaking 85s because you don't want to be able to say if you did it or if you didn't do it, but I will say that this is a must watch. I'm going to throw a must watch on it. We played at Mesa Country Club. And my leg is bleeding right now. I just picked something off my leg.
Oh, no.
I got blood all over my fingers.
A little scabby?
Yeah, a little scab. I ran into like the corner of a bed. It grew a scab, and I just picked it off. It felt good. It was like itchy. It felt good that I picked it off, and now I'm just profusely bleeding all over my fingers.
One of the better
Mesa
feelings
Country
you can
Club,
have, but man, you pay for it every time.
An amazing golf course. It's not Arizona golfy. It's not desert golf. It's like a parkland oasis in the middle of the desert. It's got trees. It's got little dog legs. It's got not as much damage in front of the greens. You can kind of run some up. It's a really incredible place. It's hard. It's firm. It plays completely different than anything you would ever play in Arizona. And Trent just felt at home there. Like, he really felt good. We were pumped to go in. He's been playing great golf. Yeah, you just got to go watch it. You got to go watch it. And we'll talk about it on the next episode. But hopefully everyone kind of reaches out to Trent and us, and they see what we're talking about, because it's very exciting. Very exciting.
They just renovated that place, right, Riggs?
Yeah, that place just went through a full restoration. It was closed for, I think, 9 straight months and opened up just on November 1st. You guys filmed this a few weeks ago, so it was only like 2 or 3 weeks after they reopened from the renovation. They rerouted 3 of the holes. They reshaped almost all of the greens, and they reshaped and redid even and added some and took some out, all of the bunkering. So what you guys saw is the product of a very, very big operation over the last year to get that bad boy redone, and it came out great. I'm actually going to play that this afternoon.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. I mean, that like second hole's new, right? There's like a new par 3. Is it the second or third hole? It's like it hits you right in the beginning where you're like, oh wait, I don't remember going this way. I think it was like that par 3. Remember we were talking about it, Trent? We were like, what the hell?
Oh yeah, is that hole new? I can't remember. We haven't played there since we played Joel like 4 years ago.
There was just a way, like, we don't remember going right, and it was just like there was something different about the whole golf course. I'm not sure exactly what they changed about it, but we were pumped to just see like differences.
Yeah, I felt very comfortable out there. I mean, for people who've been watching our YouTube for a long time, we played Joel Damon there 3-4 years ago. I loved it then. I've made no secret that desert golf is tough for me. I lose about 25 balls around when it's pure kind of target desert golf. Mesa Country Club is not that. They were incredibly nice, incredibly accommodating to us, so shout out to them. And yeah, just go watch the new Breaking 85. My game feels good right now. I'll say that.
Looks good. It's looked good in videos. I can't tell you how TaylorMade. I think I'm putting those guys out of business by living in the desert and requesting as many golf balls as I request from TaylorMade Golf. I mean, it's just when you have a bad day off the tee out there, which I've been prone to do, you're in fucking no man's land. You're just gone the whole goddamn day. Mesa, you find everything.
Everything. I love that place. Parts of it look like California. That's what Frankie and I found out. It looks like California out there.
Yeah,
it does. It's nice.
I actually took a picture. I was gonna post that. I forgot to post that, Trent.
Yeah, show a little picture.
He was gonna. What I don't know. I don't remember what hole it was, but there's a particular part of that golf course that looks like California, and Frankie took a picture and he was going to tweet it out.
I was going to take a picture and just say, what state is this?
Look at that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Looks like California.
Tell me that's not California.
So downhill one.
That is the fifth. That is the fifth green. That par 5 over the little what do you call them? Canal, almost like a little canal they got through there. And then no spoilers. How'd you do on the next tee shot? It's that super narrow par 4 where you got to hit it through those trees like it's the 18th hole in Augusta. Remember
going uphill, right?
Mm-hmm.
I did. I think I pretty much topped it, but it got over the canal and ran forever.
Oh yeah,
fantastic!
Yeah, right in the middle of the fairway.
Amazing. What a great course. What a great
that's
place.
Breaking 85, baby. That ain't no Grant Horvath video, but is what it is.
I love
that
it.
hole's a bitch. That
hole's
hole
hard.
ate me up. That hole ate me up.
Really
for
hard.
breakfast. I was short,
Really hard.
and then I was long.
We got my boy that lives right back there too by the tee box, and he's the guy. And we were there with Joel. He was giving everybody like tequila shots and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. What a spot. What a spot. Push your boundaries at work, home, or on the golf course with Technique's true wireless advanced noise canceling headphones. Technique's AZ80 true wireless earbuds are the first wireless earbuds to let you connect to 3 devices simultaneously, so you can go from leading a meeting perhaps to listening to music perhaps to taking a call perhaps without having to do anything. I've got this sleek midnight blue pair right here, which are awesome. They're available in black, silver, and now a striking midnight blue color. I've got the silvers they're in right now. I've got these midnight blues. I kind of use these on trips. They go with my eyes. They go for blue shirts and hoodies that I like to wear. So these things are excellent.
I mentioned earlier in the podcast that I am in Boston. I flew from Florida to Boston yesterday. I had my A800 over-the-ear headphones. Didn't hear a thing. There were a couple kids on the plane, which I don't like because they cry, but it's nobody's fault really.
Yep.
But to take care of it, I put on my Techniques. I don't hear a thing. I listen to my music. I listen to my podcast. And then boom, before you know it, you're hitting the ground and you've landed and you've had a peaceful experience thanks to your Techniques. I can't speak highly enough of these. They really are great. So if you want to upgrade your headphone situation, use Techniques.
They're really, really good. They the noise canceling is huge, especially on flights. It's got this really cool app that you go to and you can like fine tune and optimize the performance of your headphones, the earbuds. They're great. Shop for Techniques true wireless lineup at us.techniques.com/foreplay. And just for Foreplay listeners, you're going to get 10% off your next purchase. That is us.techniques.com/foreplay. You guys want to do a little closest to the pin action?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Gravy, show yourself.
What's up?
There he is.
Ooh,
Hello,
matching
Grave.
hoodies with Gravy
Yeah,
and
nice
Frank.
hoodie, Frank.
Yep, nice hoodie.
Gravy.
The team got absolutely dick slapped by the New York Islanders, who are in a complete free fall.
Did you see what happened with the Sabres last night?
Did they blow that lead against
They were up
Colorado?
4-0,
Oh,
4 goals in
no.
the first period, lost 5-4 in regulation.
Not good. You know who else is in a free fall is the New York Rangers, and I don't want to hear any of but they're better than your team. I mean, what's going on at the world's most famous arena right now is some sad shit. It's wild. You got captains like calling out the rest of the team, and other guys, Kreider's dropping F-bombs in interviews. The coach isn't coming out to talk to the media. They've lost like 5 straight games in regulation. They're getting blown out at Madison Square Garden. Steve Valiquette, they're in between fucking the intermission guy who played 50 games in the NHL, said that Jack Hughes plays Instagram hockey, not real hockey, and that he says, I think it's bullshit they tried to embarrass Igor Shesterkin. He tried to do the one-handed move, and he's like, that's trying to embarrass an NHL goalie. It's like, he's just trying to score. You think he's thinking about trying to embarrass anyone in the first period? They're up 1-0. Obviously, just trying to score. That is really embarrassing. It's something they need to look into the mirror and figure out what's going on. Because with that kind of market cap and you're playing in Madison Square Garden, you got all the best players literally saying they don't want to play for the Islanders to go play for you. You got to figure it out. Go ahead, Alex. Where are we at?
Hold on real quick. I want to ask a question. Alex, do you dress differently now that we make you appear on the show than you did beforehand?
No, I mean, half my closet is Barstool Golf stuff anyways.
Well, usually
And
he's
then the
just
other-
face first in a bowl of gravy. We're just going, and then turns his mic off and just like absolutely bubbles inside the gravy, just shooting bubbles with a straw. But now that we have him on the show, he's got to contain himself.
Right. Somebody hoses him down and he hops on.
They throw him against a wall and they just.
It's like Super Troopers when he's got the powdered sugar all over him and they put him in the shower and he,
yeah.
what is it? He's like, it's delicious.
Oh my
All
right,
right,
go ahead.
funky shit on the walls.
Also, shout out St. Louis Blues. Ever since the Montgomery hire, the Blues have gotten points in 4 straight games. They dusted the Winnipeg Jets last night, which are one of the best teams in the NHL. So let's go Blues. Okay.
And the Bruins have like turned it around too. They're like 5-2 under their new coach. So it was actually one of those like
classic, it worked out for everybody.
Nice
so far.
swap.
Well, we're 4 games into it.
All right, Bush.
So this was from 2 weeks ago. We had Kevin Kisner's combined scores in round 1 and 2 at the RSM.
Ooh.
He shot 76, 74, 150. Trent was closest with 144. Trent just keeps racking up points.
Thought this would be a positive
I
show
feel
about
bad.
Kisner, but that's tough. That's tough.
That's tough timing.
Damn.
Then passing yards for Cade McNamara versus Maryland. We're gonna have to avoid that because he just didn't play in the football game.
Yeah.
Got a concussion,
So-
didn't get cleared, so Stratton played. No points.
No points for that. Length of the shortest field goal missed in week 12 was 28, and I had 29. That was actually a field goal to tie the game, too.
Who missed it?
Houston? It was Houston. Who's their kicker again?
Ooh.
Fairburn. Yeah,
Okay.
they end up losing. Missed a 28-yarder to tie. And then last
All right.
was Frankie's hotel room number at LSU, 249. He wins with 214.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
Okay.
You just
Small
asked for a
little
200
hotel.
number. It's crazy.
I did not ask for a 200 number. We actually went to I barely checked into my hotel. We were barely there, and it was late, and I forgot about this thing. Alex texted me at like 10 a.m. I got to my hotel at like 9:30 p.m. I was like, here it is. There's a small little hotel. I think there was only 2 levels. I told you guys that we've been small.
You did.
These small hotels on the punk trips.
All right.
So Trent has 69 points.
Mm.
Nice. Alex, I have 58. Then Riggs 48. Frankie 45. Frankie has finally tied Dan/Dylan
That's
/ everyone else.
Yep.
Incredible. Wow.
Yep. Dylan to chair.
All right. And Riggs, you got him this week?
I've got him this week. Okay. Big weekend in college football coming up. Big weekend. Some huge games. So my first one is Georgia, who is 5th, currently ranked 5th, is playing at Texas. There's also a couple other games. There's Oregon, Penn State, which is 1-3. Iowa State, ASU, which is 16-15. My question is, what will the Georgia Bulldogs college football team ranking be after this weekend? What will their ranking be after this weekend? They are currently 5th.
This is championship weekend then, right? That's all the
SEC
fucking
championship.
Yeah. I think it's Big 12 too, and the Big 10.
Mm-hmm.
What will their ranking be? They're playing Texas.
Playing Texas. A lot to consider.
They're at 4, right?
5th, I believe, is what I saw.
Oh, yeah. Notre Dame's 4 now.
Currently ranked 5th.
Yep.
Can't stop playing Call of Duty. It's hurting my wrist.
By the way, I finally
Too
bought
many
a big
wrist
boy-
activities for you. Probably
bought a
one that
big
you're not
boy
talking
Xbox.
about.
Bought a big boy Xbox, 1 terabyte of space.
Nothing better, man. I got that TV set up downstairs thanks to Full Throttle Remodel, and I don't miss a game, but I also just get to keep playing video games, and it's like,
I need to get out.
Let me know when that baby comes. I'm not coming out of the basement. You know what I mean? Like, I don't even know what's going on up there. I'm in
And
another
then it's gonna be,
world.
let me know when it's crying. Let me know when
when that baby's crying. Maybe I'll set up another TV with a little alert. That's just like, hey, stop playing these video games. You got to come upstairs. All right. It's that good, man. Oh, there goes Trent.
Oh, Trent's gone.
Yeah, he's got to rejoin whenever you mess up your mic connection. It sucks. God, it sucks. Frustrating.
I'm going to wait to read this until Trent gets back, unless...
You could start.
All right, Frankie, 6th. Trent, 7th. Riggs, 8th. Alex, 9th.
Wow. Okay.
So
We
if
all
they
think
just
they're going
win
to
and
lose,
stay
but a
where
pretty
they're
good
at.
game.
If they just win, then Frankie wins.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. We are going to jump over to the Hero World Challenge. Is obviously back. Scotty Scheffler won last year at 20 under par, I believe, for 4 rounds of golf. What will Scotty Scheffler's score to par be at the end of the weekend on Sunday night at the Hero World Challenge? Scotty Scheffler.
No cut, right?
No cut. I think it's like 18 guys.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't put invisible ink.
Say he hit it pretty good when we were with him a couple weeks ago. Pretty good.
People love that picture of Frankie and Scotty, myself included.
An excellent picture.
Really good.
All right. Frankie, 22 under. Trent, 17 under. Riggs, 15 under. Alex, 19 under.
Tried to lowball you guys there. Yeah. I don't feel good about it.
You
Yeah,
can't
shit.
feel good about that.
I don't. I really don't. Sticking with the Hero World Challenge, this one is going to be a little bit tricky for the Bushman, but hopefully you probably get some help from the fans out there. But Tiger Woods during the Hero World Challenge, when he doesn't play especially, always does a TV appearance, right? He joins the guys in the booth and kind of like comments whatever. I watched his presser, and I was trying to figure out, because our man, Mr. Woods, kind of always has something that he comes to the table with, that it's his word to kind of his go-to word, and it's always, we kind of laugh about it, whatever. I was trying to find what it was. I couldn't fully think about it, but I do think they're going to ask him about health and his future and all that. They always do. So my question is, how many times during Tiger Woods' TV appearance, I don't know if he's going to do Saturday and Sunday, or if he's just going to do Sunday. So I'm going to go safely just Sunday's TV appearance. And then if he only does Saturday, we'll count Saturday. But I'm going to basically say Sunday's TV appearance. He's usually up there for 30 minutes or something. How many times will he say a variation of the word compete? So it could be competition, competitiveness, I love to compete, this competition, whatever. How many times will he say a variation of the word compete during his appearance on the TV coverage?
Wow. Good luck on that one, Alex.
Yeah. AI, maybe you could have AI comb through it.
I can just find it and watch through it.
Yeah, no, it's kind of annoying, but sorry. Also, I'm going to watch it anyways. Maybe I'll just count it.
I love to compete, I wish I could be out there.
He said it so many times in the presser, man. That was his go-to. How are you feeling health-wise? You still into it? Well, I love to compete. I've always loved to compete. Whether it's tennis, I just love to compete. And the competitive fire is still in there. He just said it like 100 times in 1 minute. So if they just ask him that question, I think it's kind of what's on his brain this week. Whenever he's asked that question, I think that's what he goes to. So,
all right, we got Frankie with 4, Trent 5, Riggs 4, Alex 8.
Wow.
Wow. Okay.
I like being in that spot.
That's a good spot to be in. All right. Last one. Back to college football. Again, championship weekend, a lot of big games. Last week, iconically, there was the 8 overtime game with Georgia and Georgia Tech. What will the total number of overtimes be in college football this weekend? I think there's some Friday games and some Saturday games. I didn't really see any Sunday games on there, but I didn't do a ton of research. So this weekend, which is Friday through Sunday, how many total overtimes will there be played in college football at the Division I top level?
I'm looking at how many games there are. It looks like there's 2, and this might just be top 25, but I don't know. There's 2 on Friday, 1, 2. There might be a total of 7 games.
Not a ton of games, because there's if you didn't make it to championship,
and right.
9
for a lot
games.
Of the teams
you're done.
9 games? Okay.
9 games. Yep.
Wow.
Ohio Bobcats in the MAC championship.
Congrats.
Way to go, Bush.
Way to go, Bush.
I don't know. This is
I know. Could be 0. Could be 12.
All right. We got Riggs 4, Frankie 3, Trent 4, Alex 0.
I think you're in a good spot there.
Love that spot.
Yeah, 0. That's a good spot to be in. Although
just
you're
the most likely to get
spot
happens,
on. You're lame. You're just lame if that's what it is.
Yeah, it's a good spot to be in.
Not that that's the only reason, but whatever.
Yeah, lame for many reasons.
Lame for all kinds of stuff. All right, that's it. Gravy Train's gone.
There you go.
Just like that.
As soon
Gravy
as
Train
done.
is
See ya.
Gone. Today's show is brought to you by our friends at Kraken. If you're looking to add crypto assets to your portfolio, Kraken's your place to go. Of all the exchanges to hold crypto, Barstool Sports, uses Kraken, and with good reason. Kraken has one of the best track records in transparency and in trust. They're like that reliable, trusted playing partner that can roll in 5-footers with their eyes closed. We've all been in that position before. You really need a reliable teammate, especially when you're in pocket a few times. Kraken is that reliable teammate when it comes to crypto. The Kraken app delivers a simple crypto trading experience. And then there's Kraken Pro, which is a full suite of powerful tools for the seasoned traders out there. If you're new to crypto investing and trading, Kraken's the perfect place to tee off on your crypto journey. Their educational resources, by the way, are just a click away, and award-winning support's available 24/7, 365, like having a team of caddies guiding you through every shot in the crypto world.
Crypto's not going away. I feel like there's these trends that come around every once in a while on the internet, especially where you're like, do I want to put my money into that? I feel like that's going to go dud in 6 months. Crypto is not that. It has staying power. It clearly does. And Kraken is the place to keep your crypto, to manage your crypto. They're going to help you get through it. I really think, and I'm pretty confident that this is the future. You want to be involved in the future. Don't get caught. You got to ride this wave. You got to get on it. And Kraken is the place to do it.
And right now, Barstool is teaming up with Kraken to give you the chance to win one whole Bitcoin, which I don't know if you've noticed, but over the last month or so, the price of good old Bitcoin has gone through the roof. It's very high. All you got to do is go to kraken.com/Barstool. Guess what the price of Bitcoin will be on January 3rd, 2025, as shown on Kraken. You have until December 13th of this year to submit your prediction. This is a fun little thing that could result in a huge reward. Head to kraken.com/Barstool now to submit your guess. Terms and conditions apply, not investment advice. Crypto trading involves risk of loss and is offered to U.S. customers, excluding Washington, New York, and Maine through Payward Interactive Incorporated. You guys see these Tony Finau rumors? Tony Finau dropped out of withdrew from the Hero World Challenge. Some of the rumors are that he dropped out because he's rumored to be going to Live Golf. This is kind of the Live Golf, where people defect to Live Golf season. If you recall, this is like precisely when Rahm did it last year. So just mentioning that rumor's out there.
Yeah, I saw his wife posting some TikToks. They were like singing some songs that were alluding to like the rumors and stuff. They're kind of having fun with it, but I don't think there's any concrete evidence yet.
So I saw that too. Something about no drama.
No drama. Kind of dancing by a pool.
So
no more drama.
Drama.
I don't know.
Speaking of drama, did you guys see? We just posted the new gender rules for LPGA. You can get into that deep kind of conversation there. You have to.
I did see that.
LPGA is changing the rules.
It's a fun conversation.
No, but I mean, it's one that's a pretty hot topic right now. And LPGA do they even have a new CEO yet?
Commissioner?
Have they announced?
There's an interim.
I mean,
I believe there's just an interim.
Well, did this interim commissioners make this new, finally getting behind the desk, being like, all right, let's really get this thing going. And basically, they made the rule that you have to be, a female at birth. You have to be declared a female at birth to play in the LPGA, which I think a lot of the girls on the PGA will rest easier now, knowing that no one can kind of like manipulate that rule. I know that was a huge topic conversation, specifically with the Olympics and everything. So it's, that's a big moment. It's kind of crazy that needs to be like a headline where it's just like, this is something that needs to be talked about, but that's just the way the world is right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, LPGA, I don't know if that's shocking or not that they actually took that stance, but
I wonder how big of like a quote unquote threat it was, Were people knocking down the doors to get on the LPGA tour?
I think because of the way things were trending, it was about to be quite the threat.
Okay.
Where like if it's an open door policy and you can't say no to anyone, then like anybody could just go and just like go on the LPGA and just
get ahead of it.
Yeah.
I mean, common sense ruling, in my opinion. I support this
seems
ruling.
that way.
I think that especially, I mean, when we're talking about the money that you can make and the livelihood,
that's what I mean,
careers of all of those involved, I think it's a common sense ruling that I'm fully in favor for. So
there's a reason why there's two leagues, right? And like they're like gender separated. So like there's a reason why, because like physically they can't compete with the men. So it's like at the end of the day, you have to come up with something that's black and white, where it's like, this is why we have separation of this stuff. So yeah, it's good. I mean, we'll see. I don't think anyone exploited the rule yet, right? I didn't know of any.
Not that I knew of. I do believe we would get sent a couple stories here and there of like a high school golf team or something of that nature, where this, contentious issue could be at play. But I don't recall it getting to the LPGA level. Not in any stories that I heard of. And yeah, it sounds like they're probably doing it to get ahead of any of that happening. But that is funny to think about the logistics of this announcement being made. If it was like 2 days ago, the LPGA commissioner announces she resided, and then the interim steps in, is like, you know what I'm going to do while I'm here for a couple days? I'm going to make a big call here. I'm going to make a big call. I don't really know how that worked. I can't imagine that decision is made in 1 or 2 days. They're probably going to release this anyways, but a couple big news bombs out of the LPGA. We're 2 days into the week so far.
Just a big news day.
Yeah.
Huge news day.
Mm-hmm.
Did you guys see that CEO just got like assassinated outside
Crazy.
of his hotel room?
I saw that right
that
before I
earlier.
hopped on here. I couldn't believe that.
I just like saw the video of it because the internet's the worst place in the world. Yeah, it's horrible, but crazy.
Yeah,
Like this is like a legit assassination because this guy was the CEO of, it's like a top 20 company in the world.
UnitedHealthcare,
right?
is that what it was?
Yeah, it's like $500 million, or is it $1 billion? I mean, it's a $1 billion corporation. He's there to go talk to his shareholders. Fucking 6 a.m. Crazy, man.
Jesus.
Yeah.
That's the internet's way too fast and loose right now that you could see that stuff, or even the fact that that's happening.
Right.
Horrible.
Really bad.
Oh, that is nuts.
But I was kind of just like, that kind of grabbed my attention as we were doing Close to the Pin. I kind of just like looked over. Someone sent the link, and it was like, wow, it's only fucking noon on a Wednesday. Like, what are we doing?
It's also like, yeah, but when is like the fact that you can just see that? Like, I don't need to see that at Friday at 8 p.m. Like, there's no good time where I need to see somebody getting assassinated in Midtown Manhattan.
Shouldn't see it. Shouldn't see it. Nope. Shouldn't be happening. Shouldn't see it. Not good.
Not good.
No, man. That's bad.
I saw Wicked last night. You guys see Wicked?
Wow, I'm going to Wicked tonight.
Dude.
I haven't seen
I'm
Wicked.
going to Wicked tonight.
So good.
I haven't
so
seen
good. So good that Alex Bush chimed in about how good it was. Ariana Grande is so good in that movie and so funny that like I was blown away. It's just, and that's not something I never saw the Broadway show. I knew a little bit about it, but I didn't know a ton. I know it's obviously getting a ton of hype right now because it's like the biggest movie in the world. But I went and saw it last night, and it is a delight.
I saw it on Broadway, and it moved me like to tears. The singing, like they are such exuberant, just outrageously large songs, just like really just hitting notes that you have to be a special kind of person to be able to hit. Like Idina Menzel was actually the one on Broadway. She was the Green Witch, which I'm going to see the movie tonight, so I forget their names.
Elphaba.
But Elphaba, yeah, she was incredible. I remember being like, whoa, like you kind of like in the back, you sit back and you're like, this is fucking nuts. I'm excited to watch it tonight. I can't wait. I can't wait to get popcorn. When I go to the movies, I'm going to the movies for the popcorn. The movie is secondary. I've said this for a lot. So we're like, me and my wife are like scheduling out our day of eating, knowing we're going to have an outrageous amount of popcorn tonight.
Yeah.
Where it's like, what do you want to have for dinner then? Like, that's how much popcorn is a factor in my movie experience, where I'm like, well, if we're doing the movies, what are we doing for dinner? Are we skipping it? Like, are we even having dinner? Because you know what's coming at 7:20. You know it. So
I got the biggest popcorn available. I ran right through the whole thing.
Oh, it's so good. It's a long movie, right?
2 hours and 40 minutes.
Wow.
But it's
How
really
deep into
good.
that movie you think was that popcorn at the bottom there?
I spaced it out pretty good. I was hammering it hard during the previews.
I can't stop.
Can't stop.
I once went to a movie with my buddy. What the fuck did we see? I can't. I remember Zootopia was I think we were seeing Star Wars, and Zootopia was a preview, and it was the whole preview was just that sloth scene where he's just like going to stamp the thing at DMV. And I remember laughing so hard that I almost puked. I don't know what, it hit me so fucking hard. It's the greatest preview of a movie ever. But I was with my buddy Jeff. We were seeing Star Wars. That's exactly what it was. And he had to like get my attention at one point and be like, bro, you haven't stopped moving your hand from your mouth to the bucket in an hour. He's like, is your elbow sore? Like, this is insane. Like nonstop. There was never a moment where I just stopped. Like once one was in, the next one was going, you know, took some, gave some more. Just absolutely beating the piss out of that popcorn bucket.
You got to crush popcorn at the movies, man. It's the whole goddamn experience. Butter. Oh, it's great.
It's amazing that Wicked's getting the like reviews that it is, with how unlikable their interviews have been. And they've been going viral for, like, Ariana Grande's interviews with her co-host have been so cringeworthy that people are like, fuck this movie. And then they're still going and seeing it and they're loving it.
Oh, I'm lucky. I haven't seen any of those interviews. I
haven't really seen.
Oh, they're outrageous, bro. They're like unwatchable. They're like sitting in each other's lap. Caroline works at Barstool, like did a really funny spoof on one where they're just essentially like making out doing the interview. They're grabbing each other's hands. They're like, like she'll get asked a question, Ariana Grande, and her co-host will be like, cry now. And like they just sit there and cry. He's like, you can cry. And like it's just a bunch of crying. It's nuts. But like people are still like fighting through those interviews and seeing the movie and they're enjoying it. So I'm gonna try and go in with kind of like a clean slate in my brain and just act like I didn't see those. And I'm gonna enjoy the fuck out of it. I love Wicked. I loved it on Broadway.
I was fired up that this is part one. There's another part coming.
Trusted by top instructors Mark Blackburn and Claude Harmon III, Rapsodo offers a variety of golf tools to help you play your best, which we love, which we're trying to all get to. You've heard us talk about the capabilities of the MLM 2 Pro, but you are looking for a more affordable option this offseason. You need to check out the Rapsodo MLM for $299.99. That's $299.99. This pocket-sized launch monitor tracks 11 metrics, gives you a video replay after every shot, and even allows you to see how your game stacks up against the pros through their Rapsodo Combine. This thing is awesome, and the fact that it's pocket-sized, Trent, makes it very convenient out there.
It does. It fits right into my golf bag. I take this thing everywhere. It's got great features. It's got incredible things that you can do with it, but a really important part of it, and an important part of anyone's golf game, is knowing your distances. And this thing will get you there. How far is my 7-iron going? How far is my 6-iron going? How far is my pitching wedge? My 52 degree? If you don't have those numbers and you don't test it out on a Rapsodo, you're not going to know how far to hit the ball or what club to use. Just having that, and it's got all these other features. It's going to tell you a ton about your golf swing, but just knowing your distances is so important. And having a device like this will let you know what your distances are. That alone is worth getting it. So it's got all those features. We played, you can play Bethpage Black on there. If you got a net set up in your backyard, you can just play all these different golf courses. It's got all these features. So you got to get one if you want to improve your golf game.
Also, you can save $40 off the MLM from now until December 12th on Rapsodo.com. If you're looking to improve your game this offseason, the Rapsodo MLM is the solution for you. Play your way with Rapsodo Golf. Play without limits. That is Rapsodo.com now until December 12th.
I've got a buddy, and I'm going to keep him nameless because I'm pretty sure it's like illegal. But I've got a little thing going on where he's got like this login for me, and I have an app on my TV that he can just shoot me movies and TV shows, and it is in 4K. Like these movies are like Dolby Atmos surround sound, 4K quality, straight from like the production companies, straight from the studios. I don't know how he gets them, but I'm hooked up to this thing. We call it like, we have a little name for it. We have a little emoji that we send in, and whatever movie we want, he'll throw it in there. He's a pirate, right? He's just like a pirate dog. He's getting this stuff to me, and it's been life changing. Like so much so that I could probably just like cancel every other subscription that I have because he's so fast and incredible at uploading things. You still want to be like in the know. Like you can't get rid of Max. You got to be able to watch The Penguin when it comes on at 9 p.m. Shit like that. But he's so good at, like, we were like, yo, we need Christmas movies. That night, 30 Christmas movies in 4K, Blu-ray, uploaded right to it. It's on the big screen. You're like, you can't believe it. It's amazing. He can actually see what you watch on his back end, which is nerve-wracking. I think he's hacking into my Wi-Fi also. But at the end of the day, it's worth it. And that's just something I needed to say. It's been great. I've been watching a lot of movies.
Yeah. There's always a guy like that, you know? Like growing up, there was a guy who could get all the music you wanted. There's a guy who could get all the TV shows you wanted. It's just, I'm sure the technology has advanced in such a way that now you're just getting it literally sent to your TV and you just watch them. There's always those guys.
I watched the Apprentice. It was like the Donald Trump movie that just came out. It's a movie I would never go see in the theaters, but like something I was interested in. It was like the whole story of him like getting sued and building his business, and then like what happens, whatever. And it was like kind of grainy. And I was like, wow, they really went all in on this like 1970s filter. So much so that like I couldn't even see what was happening. And he texted me through the movie. He's like, bro, why are you watching this on 240p right now? Like you could see the back end. There's a setting that like if you're watching it over Wi-Fi, it drops it down to like lowest quality. I didn't know all the settings on the background of this app. He's like, bro, this thing's in 4K. So I had to go back and rewatch some scenes, like, you know, particularly like some nude scenes or whatever, but like you had to go back and be like, oh, what was this movie even about? And then it was in crystal clear HD. I felt like a moron. I watched an hour and a half of a 240. Bro, do you know what 240p looks like in the year 2024? No. It's like a bunch of boxes moving around. It's like watching Tetris. It's you can't even believe the difference in quality between 240 and 1080p or 4K. It was a really exposing moment that I didn't think. I was like, wow, they went all in on this filter. I even texted him like, bro, this filter's nuts. Like, you can't even see the movie. You can't even see the movie.
It's bad.
Incredible.
It is what it is.
Absolutely incredible. Wow, what a text we just got from Dave. That's very funny.
Yeah, we're gonna have to hop off here real quick and do a little quick meeting. We got a lot of business things moving around at Barstool Golf for play. We got a lot of things in motion right now. So much so that Dave Portnoy just texted us, said we gotta talk quick. We gotta talk real quick.
And he did. So we're pretty much done here anyways. It's a great show. Thank you everybody for listening. Thank you everybody who bought again for Black Friday, Cyber Monday. Shout out to our merchandise team and all our great stuff. You can still Trent had a great post that now available is the Tiger crew neck and all of our other stuff at 100% of the cost,
full price,
and nothing 0% off. So you can still acquire all that stuff. Big thanks to all of our fantastic sponsors: Chevy, Rocket Money, Truly, Techniques, Kraken, and Rap Soda, which I love that thing. I'm going to use it all winter and get very good. So thanks for listening. Enjoy the weekend. Scotty Scheffler, Hero, Tiger, the whole deal. College football championship weekend. We'll be back next week. Hit it hard.
Hit it hard.
Hit it hard.